Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm MrDomRocks and today we are taking a look at AVG PC TuneUp 2014. This is a piece of software designed and brought to you by AVG, who have been predominant in the internet security market, the PC security market, for a very long time. Established way back when I can barely remember, to be quite honest. They have been involved in protecting your PC and internet experience, and they have been releasing the AVG PC TuneUp for quite some time. A piece of software designed to optimize your PC no matter what your requirements. So this simply comes down to whether you're using a laptop, a gaming PC, a home desktop that you bought from your local computer supplier, excuse me, whether you're running a custom gaming PC or something you bought off the shelf. In essence, this software will improve your performance tenfold. What can it do? Well, if you're just looking at the screen, it's designed to more speed. More speed, Mr. Spock, more speed. Mr. Spock? That's the wrong person, but in any case, it is designed to make a smoother running PC performance, increase your battery life, and increase and get more disk space. No, less junk, more funk. Less junk, more space, I should say. But hey, this software, if we're looking at the PC system requirements, is designed for Windows-based operating systems, right back to XP, all the way up to Windows 8. Not included in this list, but is working perfectly well is Windows 8.1, but I think they just blanketed with a Windows 8 coverage. So this is the 64-bit and the 32-bit operating systems. I will state that I am running Windows 8.1, and it is a 64-bit operating system. It is also available in various languages. Obviously, AVG is a global brand, so having these languages available is key. And what can it do for you? Well, let's take a look at it. I'm going to shut this down, and we're going to take a look specifically at AVG PC TuneUp right here. You can run a maintenance. It can scan your system and do pretty much everything you want. Everything. It will give you a list of options, and then when you click through them, it will then give you your full optimization potential. As you can see, I am optimized up to 100% here. If there are certain things that you don't want it to do, you can say no, don't disable. You can disable the option and hide it so it doesn't affect you in any way. You can also look at your PC performance, and you can optimize that there. You can check your PC health, and if there is an issue, AVG PC TuneUp will notify you of this. This, alongside AVG Internet Security 2014, will pretty much protect your system and optimize it for the best performance available. You have 3 PC modes. These are specifically designed to do 3 key things. Economy mode, boost battery life if you're running a laptop, reduce energy usage by turning off power sapping devices and programs. So any application that uses a high load in the background whilst you're on the desktop or just using your PC, it will turn them off and generally get a faster performance. And if you're running on battery, it will reduce the load on your system, reducing the drain and draw on your battery. You can set Windows to a normal standard operational mode, and you can go into turbo mode. Turns off background features to give your programs and games an instant performance boost. This is specifically being pushed at gamers. Having sat down with a gentleman and taught from AVG previously, this is specifically being aimed at gamers, but can help all users, not just gamers who have high-end gaming PCs or even mid-range to low-end gaming PCs. This is aimed at everyone. Excuse me. You have a flight mode here. So if you're running a laptop, and I think they changed the regulations on flight control on using Wi-Fi enabled devices and Bluetooth, in America at least. Flight mode can simply, with one click, disable Bluetooth and Wi-Fi on your laptop. This is also great if you just don't want to be connected. You don't want them running in the background and you're moving from one place to another, but you know that you're going to have a short time to get battery, to charge your battery when you're at your next location, if you're out and about and you use your laptop for business. This is great because you can't always get a socket to plug into, especially if you're very busy. So we're going to look at a more in-depth optimize. We're going to cover all the areas here. We're going to look at the optimize settings, the cleanup, what it can do to fix problems, personalization, as well as the all functions tabs all across the top here. So let's look at optimize. Optimize gives you all these options here. You can disable programs, disable startup programs. You can uninstall programs and configure a live optimization. You can clean your registry, defragment your registry, optimize system startup and shutdown, and defragment hard disks. So what does disable programs do? Well, disable programs in a nutshell, AVG use a point system for startup, operation, and shutdown. Now these are very specific. These are things that cause load when you're starting your system, things that run at start. Things that run in the background once your system has started and after you open them and then minimize them, etc. They'll cause load on your system. Anything that runs in the background, processes from additional applications that run in the background even after you've shut them down, 'cause it doesn't always shut everything down. As well as speeding up the shutdown of your system. The point system, in essence, is this. AVG PC TuneUp uses a point system to calculate the load on your system. For each program, the load during system startup, operation, and shutdown is calculated. The highest of these values is used to calculate the overall load on your system. And here we have a long list. When I get you to go away, go on, and it's back again. When it goes away, you can see what programs here cause load on your system. So the things that actually cause a high load are AVG 2014, LogMeIn Hamachi on my system specifically, and Realtek High Definition Audio Driver. The other things that cause even a medium load are AVG PC TuneUp itself, Malwarebytes, and Microsoft Office Professional 2010. Now, whilst these may cause a high load, that is actually misleading because it's not as high a load that it's going to affect your system performance whatsoever. The load on these is actually much lower than this is just a simplified, very much simplified in how it causes load on your system. Now here we have a long list of applications that cause a low load on your system that will run in the background when your system starts up. And then we have things that cause no load until you run them, that is. So if I run Adobe Photoshop CS6, obviously it causes a load on my system, but currently because it's not running, it's impactless. And there is a long list of programs here that are actually impactless on my system's performance until I actually launch them. And in essence, you can disable all of these programs, all of the programs that AVG would allow you to disable without compromising system security or your system running. So there are things here that will never be disabled, but they don't cause an issue on your purely because disabling them, when I get my words out, will affect your system's running capabilities. And that is it in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. You can disable system startup programs. Now this will give you a list of all programs that run at startup, and it will give you whether they are necessary or not. So QuickTime taskbar icon is unnecessary during system startup, so it can be turned off. Goodbye, gone. Doesn't affect your system. And all of these are optional running applications during system startup. Now I want these running. I want speed fan control running because this controls my CPU, cooler, and its fan speed. Otherwise it sounds like a tornado is running through my system. I'm going to leave NVIDIA GeForce Experience backend running because I'm using an NVIDIA GeForce graphics card, and I require that running just to use my screen or to play video games. Logitech Gaming Framework. That is part of Logitech gaming software, which is installed purely because the mouse that I use is a Logitech gaming mouse. And there are other things here that can be disabled or enabled depending on whether you want them to run or not. And these will cause a load on your system anyway. Some of them are deemed, as you can show how useful they are, and these are denoted, I believe it comes directly from AVG, might be from user experience. I think I can give a rating and it will give an update to how useful these applications are. Excuse me. And this is when they were recognized across all 5th of the 12th. I think this is recognized by their installation date more than anything. So I've had Steam installed from the 24th of the 10th, 2013. That was after a rebuild and reinstall of Windows. And when this software was reinstalled along with AVG, I think I installed Steam after I installed AVG, or one way or the other. So yes, that is specifically what AVG Startup Manager can do. You can uninstall programs here. So you can see a list of all of the programs that are installed on your system, and you can use this option here instead of going into Control Panel on uninstall, etc., to uninstall applications, games, software, whatever you want. You can use this to uninstall and clean up those applications. You can configure a live optimization option here, and you can specify things. Now, the live optimization automatically monitors the load on your system, on your computer, is in the background. So this sits in the background, and it does things. It optimizes whether these things deserve their full CPU potential. And you can add some exceptions. As you can see, I've already added quite a few games that I play on a regular basis, some software and applications that I use. I use Adobe Photoshop quite often, Arma 2 and Arma 3, Operation Arrowhead, the beta, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Borderlands 2, DX3, which is what I use to record video game footage. Garry's Mod is another video game, Open Broadcaster when I'm recording my desktop, which is what I'm using right now, as well as when I stream. Hearthstone, which is another video game, and Starbound, which is a brand new game that came out last week. Those are games that I'm playing on a regular basis, and ones that I want to have full CPU potential. So in doing so, I've given them the option to have no reduced load on my system. And that in essence is what the live config does. You can clean up your registry. There are lots of different options and applications out there that are free to use from the internet. Some are good, some are bad, some work really well, and some don't. Some are half-assed in what their approach. But AVG PC TuneUp has a registry cleaner, has the ability to defrag your registry, optimize system startup and shutdown, which we looked at with disabling startup programs. You can look at how it can optimize these options here. And you can also defragment your hard disk. Now this specifically will defragment only mechanical hard drives. If you're running solid state drives, it will not affect them whatsoever. As with Windows 8, it knows you're running from a solid state drive, so it does not automatically enable, as far as I'm aware, does not automatically enable the option to defrag that hard drive as an automatic process or scheduled process. So you don't have to worry about damaging your SSD, whether you're using PC TuneUp or just running Windows 8 on its own. I believe Windows 7 you had to specifically go into an option to disable it yourself. Windows 8 doesn't require that at all. You can configure your economy mode and your turbo modes here. The standard mode is just a straight install of Windows with your games and software without having PC TuneUp installed. So that is the baseline middle ground that AVG do not tweak. You can configure your economy mode here, so you can look at how well it can save on battery life, your screen, your hardware, services, your display. I'd say screen and display they're two different things. Transparency effects for Windows and slideshow, what it can do with that. turn off your screen when idle after 3 minutes. So like you can say it's a never, so it'll never do that, but then that just affects your battery life, and this is what this is about. That is if you're running a laptop, which I'm not. So this is where this can just save battery life. You can configure your turbo mode here, so you can schedule defragmentations. It can postpone them. It can postpone all tasks that would cause a load on your system, or generally just affect your system's performance. So you can disable certain things if you want them on, or enable all of them, which is what I have done. I'm running in turbo mode all the time, because I don't need scheduled defragmentation. All of my hard drives are predominantly used for straight storage of applications. There's no lots of read and there's no lots of writes. It's more reads, or it's one write when I download and install, download an application or a program or a video or a movie, etc. And I do a lot of writes to 2 of my other drives because I use them predominantly as scratch disks for when I record video game footage, or even this video right now. So that is, I don't need them to have any kind of defrag option. Schedule maintenance tasks, automatic updates. If I want to run the updates, I'll do them myself. I usually do them manually and pick the ones that I require. Some are not necessarily needed on my system. The synchronization with mobile devices, limit support for digital cameras and scanners. I'm going to disable that one because I actually have a camera that I plug into my system on a regular basis, and that could affect its operation. So I'm going to apply that. Okay, please note your changes will not be applied until the next time you turn turbo mode on. Okay, no problem. Click OK. That's fine. That'll get sorted later. Thank you for another pop-up. It's being a bit buggy today. Not the software, just my system. My system's playing up just slightly, but it's nothing to do with AVG PC TuneUp. It's an issue that I'm still trying to rectify. So here we have the cleanup options. Now, when you install and uninstall applications, some things get left behind. When you use your browser, I use Chrome specifically, as you saw earlier. If you're using Firefox, Internet Explorer, Opera, whatever web browser you're using, this can clean up cookies and any history. And here we go. Let's look at this. We can delete cookies, internet history, the cache, more cookies. So this is, I've got Firefox installed as well. So this will look at all the things that will cause not load on your system, but take up precious hard drive space. Now, not everyone has an infinite amount of hard drive space. Personally, I have a 240 gig solid state drive, and that solid state drive is pretty full at the moment, so getting the most out of it in storage requirements is key. And using this software, I can delete any additional files and history that would generally affect that storage option. You can remove broken shortcuts. Everything adds up. These are usually only a few kilobytes, but lots of them all add up to megabytes, to gigabytes, etc. And you can disable Windows functions here. You can disable hibernation, Windows Messenger. You can get rid of these things that would generally not necessarily not cause load, but take up storage space. Things that you no longer need. And who the hell uses Windows Messenger? It's all about Skype nowadays anyway. But in any case, I digress. You can find and remove duplicate files. Find and delete large amounts of data, and securely delete data. So this allows you to simply select a file, a folder, or your recycle bin, and you can add a specific file to your system and you can clean it straight off, get rid of it. That is not a wipe of a drive. That is just securely delete programs or files off your system. Prime example, if you have a Word document that has some private information and you're worried that that is going to be maybe found if you sell a hard drive on secondhand on eBay or pass it to a friend, and that has private private information stored on it, and you want it gone for good, you could use AVG PC TuneUp to do that. As you can see here, I have a large amount of storage here, and this is pretty much full because I record a lot of video game footage. So that's pretty much what's going on with this is across all drives, but my SSD is pretty full at the moment. You have the option to fix problems, check system and fix problems. So if you're experiencing issues with icons, your recycle bin's missing, taskbar cannot be displayed, or some other things, you can run AVG PC TuneUp, go to fix problems, and you can fix those problems directly, which is a great little feature here. You can also check hard disks for errors. I just had to end a call, sorry about that. Check your hard disk for errors, restore deleted files, display and close running processes, and show your system information here. There is also the option to modify and edit Windows settings, personalization, options, and behavior. Personalize the appearance of Windows here as well. This is pretty handy for anyone who's running Windows XP, Vista, or Windows 7. And I'm sorry, that's my nephew in the background. He's doesn't appear to be in the best of moods at the moment. You also have an all functions option right here. So so instead of going through each and every individual tab like I have done for this video, you can go directly to the ones you want, and you can run individual tasks without having to go through each and every stage, which is handy for anyone who just wants to one-click optimization, who wants to just quickly disable, wants to defragment your registry without having to go through additional processes. And I think that is it pretty much, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to quickly thank AVG for giving me the opportunity to do this video, for inviting me down to London for the event earlier on this year, for the feedback and conversation that we have had over the last couple of months. I know this video has been long overdue. And I'd like to thank you guys. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, if you found it useful, if this is something that you will now go out and purchase, then fantastic. The link to purchase it directly from AVG is a digital download, will be in the description. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you've got any comments, queries, or questions, don't hesitate to drop a comment on this video. You can find me on Twitter as well. That is twitter.com/MrDomRocks. The link to that will also be in the description. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.